Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of BeingACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and in the coming videos we are going to be solving the pre-March exams. So the pre-March exams are one of the most useful resources towards the preparation for your March 24 attempt. Please be very careful when you are preparing for you are solving this exam. This should be done under proper exam conditions, timing yourself, and these videos should ideally be used towards bridging the gap between the understanding and your actual execution of the exam questions. So here we go. The following questions, the questions that are just going to follow are actually a repetition from your pre-September March, which was a pre-September exam, which was there in 2023. So these are one of the same questions. So if you happen to have appeared for the exam back then also, then you would probably remember these questions. So here we go. Let's begin. Charminster Coaches is a coach company. It has built its business by offering day trips to attractive destinations. 3 years ago, it diversified to offer week-long holidays to coastal destinations, staying in local hotels. Charminster Coaches boards has been happy generally with the profitability of the coastal holiday business, although some directors were concerned by a report by the finance director at the last board meeting that the company lost $331,200 on coastal holidays in the recent quarter covering the 3 winter months. Charminster Coaches can sell a maximum of 300 places on coastal holidays each week, 52 weeks a year. Coaches are budgeted to be 70% full over the year as a whole, although this figure drops to 40% for the 3 winter months. The charge per holiday price is $1,000 and the variable costs per holiday price are $520. Fixed costs are budgeted to be 432,000 and accrue evenly throughout the year. Charminster Coaches sales director believes that the company can diversify further by offering week-long holidays to popular cities and countryside locations. With the help of the finance director, the sales director has prepared some projections. The city holidays would be priced at $1,200 per holiday place and would be expected to have a contribution to sales ratio of 55%. Annual demand would be 14,000 holiday places per year. Associated fixed costs would be 60,000. The countryside holidays would be priced at $1,100 per holiday place and would be expected to have a contribution to sales ratio of 50%. Annual demand will be 12,000 holiday places per year. Associated fixed costs would be $5,350,000. Introducing the 2 new holidays would mean a 5% reduction in demand for coastal holidays. To limit the reduction in demand to 5%, the price of coastal holidays would be reduced by 6% and the expected CS ratio will be 45%. The fixed costs for coastal holidays would remain unchanged. Charminster Coaches Board has been concerned by an article in the holidays section of a newspaper rating its coastal holidays low for customer service. The board has decided that new targets focusing on the aspects of service that are important for customers need to be established. So with this, we have read the entire scenario. We have 5 requirements with regards to this scenario. Let's get to the first one. The first one says, using the current annual budgeted figures, calculate the break-even number of holiday places for the coastal holidays and the margin of safety as a percentage. So first of all, we need to find out the break-even number of holiday places. So how do we find out the break-even? Break-even, let's write the formula first. Break-even, and this is in terms of holiday places, right? So let me just expand the column over here. Right. So the formula that we can write over here is fixed cost divided by the contribution that you are earning per person. Right. So let's expand this as well. Contribution per person. So the break-even can be found out as, so I am just going to insert the values over here. How much is my fixed cost? It is given to be 4320000 and dividing this by the contribution. Contribution is nothing but the sales price, which is $1,000 minus 520, which are the variable costs per holiday place. So This is 520, and with this I have my answer as 9,000 places. So I can say that the break-even number of places is 9,000 holiday places. Then we have our margin of safety. The next thing that we have to calculate is our margin of safety. Margin of safety is nothing but how much we have sold, budgeted places sold, minus how much is our break-even places, and this entire thing will be then divided by your budgeted places sold. Budgeted places sold. So how do we find this out? Let's first see how much is our available, right? So total places available. So available is nothing but 52 weeks multiplied by what is the information that we have given to us? Yes, so 300 places each week, and we have 52 weeks. So 300 multiplied by 52 will give you these many number of places that are available, right? So this is 15,600. Now we can see that how much is our total budgeted places sold. So how much will these be? These will be 15,600, which we have just calculated. We can link this cell for better reference for the examiner, multiplying this with 70% because they are on an average, they are 70% full. So multiplying this, I have my total budgeted places sold. So now I can finally find out my margin of safety. I have all the information I need, and this will be nothing but this number of budgeted places sold minus your break even, which was 9,000, and divide this by total budgeted places sold, which is this much, and the examiner wants it in percentage, so we will give him that and we will convert it to percentage. This comes out to be 17.58%. So with this we are done with the first requirement that we have. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is, in the light of the loss made on the coastal holidays in 3 winter months, Charminster Coach's chief executive has proposed that the company does not offer the coastal holidays during those months. He believes that customers will book holidays instead at other times of the year. Discuss the proposal made by the chief executive. No calculations are required. So the examiner has made it clear that we do not have to find out any calculations, right? So let's begin drafting the answer for this. So first of all, we have to discuss the proposal that the chief executive has made. The chief executive has said that we do not offer coastal holidays during the 3 winter months. So what are the implications that this will have, right? So first of all, what will happen is our fixed costs, as it was mentioned, that they are accruing evenly throughout the year. So the problem is that they should continue to run the coastal holidays during the winter months also, because every holiday booked will help you make a positive contribution and will help you to earn the at least cover the fixed costs. So you can write that fixed costs accrue evenly. So run these coaches in winter months also, so that positive contribution can be earned and fixed costs can be covered. Now, what can the second point be? What is another thing that we can say about this proposal? So another thing that we can say over here is that there is no guarantee that the customers who would have booked during the winter months will book at other times of the year also. So they may book holidays with the competitor firms, and this will be a loss for Charminster Coaches. So competitor and loss to CC, right? Charminster Coaches. So what is the third point that we can say over here? They should also consider experimenting to see if lowering the price on winter holidays increases the take-up and total revenue, Alternatively, what they can also do is they can have special offers so that the customers who are booking in the winter months, they get a discount on another holiday that they take some other time. So discounts and promotions can be considered to boost the total revenue. So this is about requirement B. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so I see the Excel popping up over here. This means this is a calculative requirement. Assuming that the 2 new holidays are introduced and the figures are as forecast, calculate the weighted average contribution to sales ratio and the total break-even sales revenue for the next year for the weekly holiday business as a whole. Okay, so let's lay down our calculations. First of all, we have to talk about three perspectives over here. The first is the coastal, then we have city, and then we also have country, right? And let's first talk about the units that we are selling, units sold. Then let's see the contribution that we are earning from them. And okay, so contribution can further be divided into per unit, how much we are earning per unit, and then we can also write about the total. Similarly, can be done for revenue. These cells can be merged together. So these can be I don't think we are allowed to merge these cells. No, we can't. So you can just write contribution over here. Then you have your revenue. Again, this can be per unit and total. The split can be shown for a better detail. And then we can show our fixed costs as well. So fixed costs. Right. Now let's go product by product. First of all, for coastal, how many units do we have? We have yes, for the coastal, this means that there will be a reduction of 5% in the demand. So how do we get to that? We have our demand as, right, the annual demand for city holidays, first of all, that is straight away given to us. Let's write that. This is 14,000. Then for country, we have 12,000. And then introducing the 2 new holidays would mean a 5% reduction. To limit the reduction, price would be reduced by 6%. And okay, so the fixed costs will remain unchanged. So what is the units that we are selling for our coastal holidays? So this will be 70%. Let's find that out. So this will be 10,920 was the total budget that we had. And if I take the 70% of this, no, actually they say that there's going to be a 5% reduction in demand. So I can just say that it's going to be 95%, right? So how much is the per unit contribution? The per unit contribution to limit the reduction in demand, price of coastal holidays would be reduced by 6% and expected CS ratio will be 45%. So how much was the price? The price that they were charging was $1,000 and now this will be reduced by 6%. So 1,000 into 94%, and then I am going to subtract my variable costs. Yes, so the contribution to sales ratio will be 45%. So I can say that my contribution will come out to be, but this has to align with 45%. So 45% of the selling price is 1000 and we are going to be putting a discount of 6%. So this will be 94%. Right. So with this, we have our per unit and the total will be nothing but the product of these two. So with this, we have our total revenue. Also, for the city holidays, we have a CS ratio of 55%. That means 55% simply of 1200. This gives you 660. Again, same formula can be copied down below. And again, now, sorry, let's find this out for this also. The country holidays would be priced at 1100 and they will have a 50% ratio. So this will be 1100 multiplied by 50%, which is 550. So now I have my total over here as well. So I can also sum all of these figures up to find out the total contribution from all three products that we are selling. Now let's go to the revenue. Revenue is going to be 1000 multiplied by 94% because of the 6% discount. So this comes out to be 940. Then I have my 1200 for city holidays and then I have 1100 for countryside holidays. Now again, totals can be calculated by multiplying my revenue with my number of units. And similarly, this can be dragged down and the total can also be obtained by pasting the formula over here. Now, these are the totals that we have. Then let's look at the fixed costs. So for the coastal, our fixed costs would remain unchanged. These were 4320,000. Right. And then I have my city. City is given to me as 6060,000, and then I have it for my countryside, which is 5350,000. And with this, I can find the sum over here as well. So these are going to be my fixed costs, right? So how can I find out my now the requirement actually over here was the weighted average CS ratio and total break-even sales revenue. So how do I find out my weighted average CS ratio? So with regards to your contribution to sales ratio, this will be weighted according to how much units of each are you selling. So contribution, we have the total as well as in per unit terms also. So we can also find the CS ratios individually. So CS ratio. So this can be for the coastal, it is this divided by this. And again, I can just drop these down. Right, so these are the individual ratios. Now, if I want to find out for the weighted average for the entire thing, I can do simply the CS ratio multiplied by the number of units. Then again, CS ratio multiplied by the number of units. And then again, CS ratio multiplied by the number of units. And this entirely will be divided by the sum of all the units. This will be sum of these three. And with this, I can close my bracket. And my answer comes out to be, I can just convert it into percentage, and it is roughly 50.50%. Now let's come to our break-even sales revenue. So my break-even sales revenue can be found out that how much revenue that I need to generate to cover all of my fixed costs. So my break-even will be my fixed costs divided by the contribution, the weighted average CS ratio. And with this, I have my break-even sales revenue. This can be formatted so that it looks better. And this is my break even sales revenue. Right. So with this, we have come to an end to part C. Now let's move on to part D, which is the second last part in this one. Now, the part D wants discuss the problems with the assumptions made when carrying out the calculations in part C. Now we have to tell that what the assumptions we have taken over here. So first of all, we have assumed that the fixed costs will remain constant, right? This is one of our assumptions. We have also assumed that, you know, we have also ignored the possibility that some fixed costs may be even step fixed costs. For example, if you get a lot of bookings, then you may also have to, employ more staff over there. So this is also something that we have ignored. So this is also a problem with our assumptions. What we have also assumed is that the contribution will remain same. Contribution will remain same. So that is not for sure, right? The contribution can also change. Maybe the prices have to be reduced for different types of bookings, and then you may have to offer bulk discounts or anything like that, and this assumption may not really hold true. Another assumption that you can also say is that you have assumed a constant CS ratio, a constant sales contribution to sales ratio. This is also unlikely. Why? Because the demand for your coastal holidays will fall when other types of holidays are introduced, and this means that the demand for holidays is also interdependent. So again, the constant CS ratio is something that is problematic. So also, the available capacity of places on coaches and hotel rooms also may eventually limit the sales of some of the holidays, but this is not going to happen for all of the holidays. Moving to the part E, which is the last part for this question, discuss the problems involved in setting targets for customer service. Now, definitely, service is something which is qualitative, it cannot be quantified. So, that is why there will be a problem. So, the first problem that you will face is you will have to establish what is important for the customers. Now, how are you going to find out that what is important for the customers? You can ask your customers for, what thing is most important to them. But then again, you may have limited responses and they may not even represent all of your customers. So again, it can be very difficult to establish what the customers actually really want and what is important for them. Now, another problem that you can face is that how will you define customer service? How will you going to create a definition for that customer service? Many of the things are qualitative, so it is very difficult to quantify services, right? Then another issue that you can face is that customer service will not just relate to the service by CC employees, but also the service at hotels and other attractions that they are visiting, right? So since they are sending people to different places, customer service is not just limited to CC's staff, but also the staff at hotels, attraction sites, etc. So again, how are you going to control that? You can definitely control your own staff, how they are treating your customers, but you cannot control so many staff that, that the staff that are present at different hotels, different sites that the people are visiting. So yeah, this is something that is again out of your control and will help, pose a problem in setting targets for your customer service.